since I don't have any technical ability whatsoever, I get to drink coffee.
I don't either. That's the problem.
Oh, but she's got a lot more than I do. But anyway, well, good morning and welcome to
Shake and Bake.
Yeah, Shake and Bake and the American Dream. This is our podcast that we're starting. This is our first morning to tell us this is going to be the roughest and ugliest. I think we agree completely.
We agree so much.
So anyway, more about Shake and Bake and the American Dream. Morgan and I are father and daughter real estate team here in New Jersey and in New York. And the Shake and Bake theory, you might know about Talladega Nights back in 2000 and something or other. And the idea of Shake and Bake was when Will Ferrell and John Riley were in the movie. And John Riley always had to break the wind for Will Ferrell. And then toward the end of the race, Will Ferrell would slingshot past and win the race. So
and they go shake and bake, baby.
She's bake.
I'm bake.
It's because I'm the old man and she's the young woman, and she's going to fly past me soon. So that's the whole goal. So this is part of it.
Isn't that the most beautiful father statement?
So beautiful.
Ever.
Anyway.
It is. Every compliment. You take them so well.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
So really what we want to do is invite everybody in. We have a lot of interesting conversations about New Jersey, specifically Hudson County, and the real estate market and just life here and what it takes to be successful. Morgan's done some great things in her past. I've done some cool things in my past that'll blend into it.
He's done some really cool things in his past.
Yeah, she's my biggest fan.
We could do a podcast just about that.
All right. Well, once again, moving on. Anyway, so to get started, I have a question for you.
Oh.
What is the one thing you're loving in New Jersey right now?
You.
Obviously, we need practice.
No, about New Jersey real estate market.
Anything. What do you love in New Jersey? I was actually thinking about a restaurant. But I was asking myself the question as I asked you, and I thought, I really love.
I just started CrossFit yesterday. That's in New Jersey.
Oh, awesome. Where
Brazen Athletics on Willow.
In Hoboken.
In Hoboken, the corner of 14th and Willow.
And you like it?
I love it.
Cool gym?
Cool. It doesn't feel like a gym because it's CrossFit. I think they do everything in what they call a black box.
I don't know if I want to know about this.
It's great. It's a fantastic establishment. I've had a lot of fun there so far.
Where's it at?
I'm 2 days
Willow
in, so my review is, not substantial.
No,
yet.
but she likes to work really hard, so I can guarantee you I'm not going. But it's at Willow and what? Where's it at in Hoboken?
Willow and 14th.
Oh,
Across
it's right
from
at the
Trader
bottom.
Joe's. Yeah, it's right here. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I've seen it.
Yep.
You know that right at that intersection, they're going to tear out, or they're talking about tearing down the building where the Malibu Diner is, and they're going to build a new building there.
No kidding.
Maybe. I don't know that that's guaranteed, but I know that there's a plan out there for that. And I don't know if the Malibu Diner's going in downstairs below it or not. But maybe. My favorite place, I still like Fox and Crow.
Oh, I was going to guess. I should have guessed.
Yeah, I like Fox and Crow on Palisade Avenue down by Congress and Palisade. My favorite place. Loving that a lot. I'm not loving the traffic. So what are you liking about New Jersey generally, about where we live? 'Cause Morgan lives in Hoboken. I live in Union City.
Right now, we're looking at that's not the Empire State Building. But if I lean over, I'm looking at the Empire State Building. I like that in Jersey, you are not part of the skyline. You can actually see the skyline. So it's more cinematic. Living in New Jersey.
That's a good word. Cinematic.
So what was the word I said?
Cinematic.
Yes, okay, cool.
My diction's not great.
We replaced T's with N's.
Apparently.
I just removed.
But I think most people like that. Most people in Manhattan, I think that the stigma is ending in Manhattan about living in New Jersey. It used to be very, New Jersey's
it's not even part of this.
Yeah. Now it's like a sixth borough. Some people like that word or that statement. Some people don't. But it truly is when you can commute into the city, depending if you take the ferry, a lot of times about 8 minutes. If you take the bus, depending on where you're at, it's, I'm guessing 20, 25, 30 minutes, depending on how far out you are from Lincoln Tunnel. and then the PATH train, the Holland Tunnel.
It depends
We
what
have a lot of
time
options.
you're traveling there,
Mhm.
but if you're open to Brooklyn, then you should definitely look at New Jersey because the prices are better in Jersey
Oh, far better.
than they are in Brooklyn. Although you do still have to be, I mean, Google a little before you assume what Jersey costs because I have had people think that it's 1/10 or 1/5 of the price of
Right. Once
Manhattan.
upon a time, it was super cheap, but that's a long time ago. So that's a perpetuating myth that Jersey City's a super cheap place to move to, and it's really not. Definitely a lot better than Manhattan and most places in Brooklyn or the other boroughs that are close commute. But it's becoming a luxury area. We have a lot of
Oh, yeah.
celebrities that
That's true.
live here. And matter of fact, we've dealt with a few of them, and that's what it's all about. They want to be where they've got a little room to breathe, but they can commute into the city, especially Midtown, quickly, and then they really
Yeah.
like it here.
I mean, I think the view of the skyline is, in my opinion, just as good as a view of Central Park. If you're in the city, just comparing the view itself.
Oh, definitely. If I were like at 432 Park looking out on Central Park, if I had
Yeah.
the choice to have this view
Right.
or that view, I would probably choose this view because this in New Jersey on the cliff or on the waterfront, you have this panoramic view.
Right.
Typically, depending, it gets edited a little bit depending on where you're at, but typically from Battery Park clear up to the George Washington Bridge.
Yeah.
And it's a stunning view at night. And I don't think most people get it. Now, if you compare that real estate, if you compare Manhattan real estate
With a view.
with that view to New Jersey real estate with that view, hands down, New
That
Jersey
really is a fifth of
crazy
the price
good
or a
value.
tenth of a price.
Right.
9 on the Hudson. Wait, I have a question for you. I also have an answer to this question, but
Okay. So this is a test.
no,
to
no,
see-
I think our answers will be different.
Okay.
Where do you think is smartest to buy along the waterfront in New Jersey?
Ooh. That's going to depend on what you like. If you're the typical kind of
For a
contemporary
commuter
Manhattan,
and for an
Manhattan-esque-
investor. 2 answers.
Well, instantly 9 on the Hudson comes to mind because it's new construction, the market's down, the prices are excellent. I
Yeah.
think that historically you're going to look at that and say, wow, that was a great value at the time.
Yes, that's yeah.
Yeah, that's a good. I really like 9 on the Hudson. I like, Auror's not bad. I think 9 on the Hudson's tax structure makes it kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah, it's
Um,
very competitive.
Yeah, very competitive. Full disclosure, we are responsible for some marketing of 9 on the Hudson.
We are
so,
partnered with them.
Yeah, so we're a little bit smitten with them anyway. But that's part of the reason why we're there.
Although the reason we were partnered with them is because I was showing somebody the place. I was learning all about it, and I was like, "Oh my God, you guys have an amazing thing here." And I was talking to them, and then they were like, "Oh, wait, you're licensed in New York too? We need somebody to partner with us who's licensed in New York." And I was like, "Well, that's easy. I'm obsessed with your building. I'll do it."
She's oversimplifying
So
that.
the
It's
love-
it's a lot more complicated and much bigger than that. So talk about underplaying the story. Oh, I just happened to be there, and this thing happened to me. No, it's
Well,
not quite like that.
I
She may be darling and fantastic and smart and hardworking, but no, there is a lot more to it. Douglas Elliman, kudos to our broker, Douglas Elliman. They're a big part of that also. So do I get to finish my answer?
Yes, yeah.
I don't think we've talked about it, but I might look at Gregory Avenue in Union City and Weehawken,
We haven't talked about Gregor. No, we have. You've mentioned that once.
or Ogden Avenue in Jersey City. Those are cliffside. When you come up the cliff, the Palisade Cliffs, generally there's a line of houses along that cliff front.
And they're in need of some.
Yeah, there are a
love.
lot that are occupied, but have been occupied by the same people for 20,
Yeah.
30, 40 years.
If
and
you could snatch
they're a
up
little
one
tired.
of those, there's no way there, especially at Ogden Ave, because the path is the
Yeah,
light
okay.
rail's right there.
Right. And most people don't know, they don't think about Ogden Ave or Gregory unless they're actually here physically looking, and then they
And then
see
you
what
drive
they can
by and
get.
you're like, "Ooh, I want that."
Yeah, there's some really cool, large, single-family homes. So you have
Under $1 million.
lawn, front lawn, back lawn, driveway, parking, and crazy view. Those kinds of places are super rare. and
Yeah.
I think they'll be a good
They're
investment.
hard to find. They're hard to find. Then if you can actually, there's no way that's not going to turn into a beautiful row of either homes or condos or.
I agree completely.
So
It's
owning
just-
that property and being able to hold on to it for a while is good.
Yeah. Totally. So it's awesome. So that's the story. I think I don't know how much. What else? Anything else you want to talk about this morning?
I wanted to mention one more thing about
Okay.
investing in West New York or
All right.
Imperial area,
Oh, okay.
because no one knows this,
Hmm.
but from an investor standpoint, especially if you want to be smart investment and you want to live there, investment,
I like
and you
that
want to live investment. Add a syllable; it sounds better. That area has a low FAR, which stands for floor area ratio, meaning there are only 350, maybe 375 if you structure it right, residential units that can be built in addition to what's there now, which means it's an 8-minute ferry ride. Port Imperial is an 8-minute ferry ride from Hudson Yards, and Hudson Yards is getting more and more headquarters brought to it, so there's going to be a lot of employees who live there, most of them needing to.
They're going to want to commute through either
Yeah.
the Lincoln Tunnel or via ferry.
Well, ferries way faster because they're in
Super.
Hudson Yards, so it's in 8 minutes.
Right.
So they're going to be looking for I need something that's a really fast commute, and I'd prefer to have a little space, and then you also get a view. I mean, the demand is virtually guaranteed
Hmm.
to skyrocket,
So you're saying that
but the supply is capped.
exactly. So there's only going to be so many more units, and then they can't build anymore, and that area is full, and then it's just
Right, and then
strictly demand and
commercial
what few
property will
places
keep
have
growing.
them to
Like restaurants, bars, all that stuff is fairly minimal now, but there's room for it to grow. So while that is growing, and the demand for residential area is growing,
True.
the supply.
But there's a
is
lot.
capped.
That's on River Road, which is the road. There's Avenue at Port Imperial, which is a little bit closer to the water, but not completely through.
Mm-hmm.
And then just a hair west, like 1 block west, is River Road, which goes clear up and down the river.
Yeah,
There's a huge amount of stuff on River Road. If you have
that's
a car,
true. You're not.
If you have a
totally
car, you're
replaced.
minutes away from tons of stuff.
That is certainly true. Living there so that you don't have to drive into the city, it's easy to commute. But as long as you have a car, then you can drive. Then,
Right.
then you're limitless.
And most of the luxury units that we deal with tend to come with a car. Like the units that we
Or
have listed
You mean,
at... I'm sorry. Yeah, they tend to come with a car.
what kind? Is it a Ford?
That's the, yeah, sorry
Wait.
about that. They tend to come with parking. So, for example, at 9 on the Hudson, the units that we're selling right now, they come with a parking spot associated to them. That's not
Covered
uncommon
garage,
also.
large spot, very nice.
Yeah.
Tons of storage.
Pretty awesome.
The reason, one more thing about 9 on the Hudson. Not to make this all about 9 on the Hudson, but I'm very in love
Maybe
with
we
this
can
building.
retile. It's one more thing.
This for about 9 on the Hudson, not
Mhm.
in life. I mean,
Okay.
my opinions will never run out. The square footage of each unit
Mm-hmm.
is much larger than I think the layouts of any other building there. And as they build more, they're not as other developers are building and demand is growing, they're going to do what New York did, which is you build smaller and smaller units.
Sure.
But this
Well, that
is,
makes sense.
these are big.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's a
buying
great- it's a
them
great
now,
place.
I know.
This sounds like an advertisement, so
Oh,
we should probably stop.
sorry,
talking
I'll
about that.
stop.
Yeah, that's not the goal of our...
That's not the point of the
Podcast.
podcast. I'm just excited about the building.
So, yeah. Anyway.
Anyway.
That could be our
That-
line, our closing line. So, anyway...
Anyway, thanks for joining us. That'll do.